here, there, there, and this over here. Adjust a little better. That's supposed to be on the charge. And right there. What else we need? That's basically it. I need my larger knife. I'm gonna try to put that out. And let me put my equipment up. I'll have to use this later on to test out the screen. There's the ones in my bag. Oh, snap. I knew I felt something different. Really? Why? We don't need air in here. I knew I felt something different. I was like, I bet you $100 of air is on in here. They put the air on? Crap. I'm gonna freeze to death in this sucker. I'm gonna have to put the projectors on there to even it out. I knew I felt something different. I said, wait a minute, I feel cold air, like really cold air coming from somewhere. We usually have it at a certain temperature. They just throw my temperature off. The vents are cold. Ugh. I ain't mad about it, but I know I felt something different. Because I was like, wait a minute, where's that cold air coming from? These fans don't trigger it. I don't know how the door lodge in there because it brings the cold air in. The temperature was perfect in here. I knew something felt different. My leg was killing me on one side. I was like, oh man, they got the freaking air on in here. I gotta go get the magnetic strips on there, man. I'll freeze to death in this sucker. I ain't gonna work. I literally gotta be outside most of the time. Well, thank God I'm outside most of the time. I knew something felt different. I felt the vents get cold. I'm like, oh man, you understand. The central air in this place is like walking through a meat locker. It is cold in this shit. And I had temperature perfect in here. Because we had enough air coming through to connect to this. And then with the air cleaners in here, my air cleaner in here, basically it actually it's like a humidor, whatever it's called. It basically takes the dryness out of the air. It was perfect climate in here. Now them suckers are on. Man. Okay, whatever. We'll get around it. It's perfect temperature in here. It's absolutely perfect. And now the whatchamacallit's on. Man, you can literally freeze a popsicle on this dip. When I first came here, I was like, geez, man, I'm about to survive in here. Too cold. Can't be that cold in here. It's crazy, man. Man, don't get me wrong. I ain't arguing about it at the end of the day, but yeah, I thought maybe, because they said they put a new cooling system in, I thought maybe it wasn't connected to ours, which was actually fantastic. It was just right. All right, I'm building this for a flex system. It's sitting right over there with the stands on it right there. So these are the stands right here. Then we're going to be using this outside and inside. So when the screen's going up outside, playing around with it, it's much bigger than the other surface. And allow me to disconnect and take it where I want to go. Bam! So I'm going to start working on my setup. Fire and ice. Ice, we're going to have my huge 200mm big boys with the grill system, which we're not going to glue it in. We're going to drill the holes in it. These four has theirs drilled in with the tube system and boat lock system for that one. 200 millimeters, which are actually extremely easy to clean, and detachable filters so they don't get too dirty. Power supply fits here in the front. I've already got my kill switches already installed in, but my power supply kicks here in the front right here. And let me see, all the ports I need to just wire everything in. We got a port underneath here that allows to run all my wires in here from the power supply back up in here, and then run power supply from out the side of here into the motherboard. Motherboard's going to be connected on top of a 200mm fan. It's going to be sick. So that fan's going to draw any heat from the back of the motherboard out through here, and the liquid cooling system is going to keep it cool on the side. Cooling system's going to rest up top. And then to make sure the power supply doesn't overheat, we put a nice little port in the back. So any air coming in through here is going to push down in here, air is going to come out of here. I like channel air. That's the fun part about PC builds, is channel and air, and where you want to direct it, where you want it to go. This is all 2-ply, which means we 2-ply the box over again. We've rebuilt a box around the box, so we won't have new buckle issues. And then on top of that, we have supports all through here and here, so the box doesn't lean toward or we have any dips, because I already had to reinforce the ones over here because that happened. Live and learn. Kill switch on the side. Right there for our kill switch. And we got our silicone, because we're going to need this to build our ice up around here. 2 types we're going to use. I got to finish that piece over there while I'm at it. But anyway, 2 types. We're going to use this right here to build structure, and the second one is the silicone, and then to build fire. We turn all this into flames at the top. Oops, say, push it forward. And that involves, what does that involve for to do that crap? It does involve silicone, whatever, 2 different blends to do that. I haven't done fire in so long, it's not even funny. So we have to do, what would be the easiest way to put that structure in? If I do it in cardboard and then I coat it back over with this stuff, and then go and paint that into a high fluorescent glow, and then put a clear over top of it with a nice glow that's transparent, I think it'll put a fire effect off pretty cool. That shouldn't be hard to do. And then the electric is easy to do. That's all basically are those plugged in? Oh, those are the little kill switches and freaking delay switches to get sparks and the trigger off. So we're going to put a cloud system on here. My cloud system's going to start from the back. It's going to funnel around here. It's going to come down here. There are some sections of clouds going to hit here and here. It's going to allow electricity to transfer here and here and here around the power supply. And then we are going to basically cut some slices in here. This is where we're going to put a piece of plastic against that, and we're going to put a delay switch in that's going to allow the lightning to transfer around our PC. I wanted something more compact than those over there, which I like because these are compact PCs I have over there, but I wanted something even more slicker. And then again, less fans. The other one I had was huge. It was real tall. And if I put that thing together, the fans I would have to clean to get to that, because I was already complaining about the fans in here already, and I only have like 3. That's basically about it. Hard drive, base, and bottom base and side base. That's basically about it. Alright, now I got the song playing in my head. I'm Mr. Heat Miser. I'm Mr. Heat Miser. I'm too much. Yeah. Oh, knife that. A knife and a piece of cardboard. Nobody heard me talking in the park. And they getting some big? I was like, no. You know, big house. I did that one already. You know how much hard work it is to clean a house? Let alone 1,600 square feet? That's a lot of freaking house for one person. That's why people downgrade, get smaller places. Too much work. You gotta dust that whole place. Mop the floors, all that stuff, man. You spend most of the day cleaning that thing. Man, I'm good. I'll give me a nice little small house. Now maybe 900 square feet. That's what I'm gonna get myself. out in the country because I want to be off the grid. I definitely want to be off the grid so badly. That's where I'm going. Off the grid, people. Oh man, I get me a good lake where I can fish. Man, that'd be fantastic, man. Fresh baked bread and fish. Man, I could eat that every day. I watch these bushcraft guys. I like these guys in the day. One guy tells you can't cook on any stone you want. You have to be careful. So I watch different channels. They haven't shown you how to cook. I would love to be able to cook some fish on a stone. Man, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, what my buddy has. My buddy got his bear from outside. There's nobody out there. 18 acres of land. Ain't nobody to freak out there. Just you and nature. That's it. What it's intended to be. Yep. Ain't nothing out there but just him and freaking nature. He goes out there and he just watches the world. I'll get me an outdoor bathroom just like that. People say, are you going to the bathroom in a bucket? Well, let me explain something to you. People are not smart enough. They don't know how to open up a door. You know what our house is? Our houses were designed when they didn't have indoor plumbing. It's a little house with a little bucket in it. And sometimes there's a compost toilet. That's what they had used it for. Our houses were out before they had indoor plumbing. But when you get people saying, oh, you know, that's unsanitary, so and so and so. Yeah, they were doing that kind of stuff. And some people still do have houses that they do use. Some people don't have indoor plumbing, and they like it that way. Doesn't mean they're barbaric. You've been camping? You do know there's two types of camping, right? There's the type of camper that basically has to have the little comforts from home. That's not camping at all, period. It's not camping at all. If you got TVs in there, stereo system, all that bull crap, you ain't camping. You glamping. That's what you're doing. We call that the soft man camp. That's what you do. You don't get none of that stuff at all whatsoever. You know, bed. You're sleeping on against the earth. That's what you're doing. People are like, where's the TV? And what the whole freaking reason why you came out here? To be closer to nature, but can't separate from technology, which is actually pretty sad. And guess what you do when you go to the bathroom at? They got a little portable toilet they make now that they pull out, and you go to the bathroom in it. That's what you do. I'm getting a compost toilet. That's what I want. And people say, well, no, I mean, listen to it. Compost toilet costs more than your toilet. Compost toilets aren't cheap. The things are very, very expensive. But yeah, I want a compost toilet. I want to be as close. I don't want to be as close as the comfort. I want to live really like off the grid. That's how I want to live. That's what I like at the end of the day. You're the same people, if the grid ever collapses, you would die. You would starve to death. You really would. You wouldn't even know what to eat if you were in the woods. You'd probably eat some freaking psycho mushroom and be running around the woods half naked, screaming and yelling at nature. Animals like, look at this joker. Yeah, he ate those at the end of the day. Yeah, he got wrong. Ate the wrong berries, you don't come back. You die. Got soft. Man got soft by luxury. He did. Got soft by luxury. Back then, you didn't have no choice. You had to know how to survive. You had to know how to hunt, fish, cook, the whole 9 yards. Even know how to patch yourself up if you got hurt. Because there were no hospitals and none of that stuff. None of that luxury at all. You were literally living off the land. That's what I like about the pioneers. How they people started off with just nothing at all, period. And you had to build your own house. Imagine that. You can't just go and just buy a house and you had to build it. Go out there and cut down that lumber out there and build and insulate your own place. People had to go through that, they would lose their freaking mind at the end of the day. Like, oh my God, I gotta do what? I gotta build it? That'd be a great reality show. They had one called Naked and Afraid, but they should have one you literally have to start with nothing. And you just get a flat ground, it's like Minecraft, and you gotta figure out how to live out there. That'd be excellent. I would watch that in a heartbeat. No bushcrafters allowed. You guys know too much. You guys be out there building cities out there. No, y'all know too much. But anyway, it just has to be everyday people. And you would have to know how to survive out there. I think that'd be an interesting show to watch. It'll give people a chance to have a taste of reality on how soft they got. I like the electric bikes. I do. I think the electric bikes are for people that should have them, or people have disabilities. They should have those bikes. People that are elderly should have those bikes. But if you're roughly in your 20s and whatever, and you're riding around on an e-bike, I just don't see it, man. I don't see it. I grew up with pedal. That's how I grew up in the day. I don't see the exercise in it all. For me, if I get a bike, it's got to be about exercise. That's what keeps you in shape. It's zipping all over the place and eating all kinds of food and takeout. That ain't kind of helping. That's kind of starting a problem right there. You're going to start seeing more and more heavier people on e-bikes. I guarantee you. That's literally what you're going to start seeing. More and more heavier people on e-bikes. Because again, I can see about somebody who has problem with their legs and stuff like that, or a little older. I can see that 100%. But 20-year-old on an e-bike, I mean, yeah, you ain't losing no weight. The whole object of the bike is to kill calories. Keep your body in motion. Your body ain't in motion. The bike is in motion. So the guy was like, yeah, this is great exercise. Where are we getting exercise from? The bike is doing all the work. Now, if you have one of those ones, I've seen the ones where you have the generator and you got to pedal them to build the generator up. That's pretty cool right there, because at least you're getting some exercise in there somewhere. But this thing is just zoom, 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 zoom. You're not getting exercise in that. So I don't see it. I can see about using them once in a while. I have some fun to zip around. But if you're on that thing 24/7, oh yeah, you definitely have problems. But cool concept though. Pretty cool. You gotta understand, the things we have in this world are designed to make us lazy. Depending more on the easy life. But I don't have the issue. You do have the easy life. You go back and you read your history books and you go back to the early pioneers. Look how they were living. You got an easy life. Extremely easy life. You know, you can go to the supermarket and you get all types of spices and stuff. You couldn't do that back then. Somebody had to get on a ship, come back 5-6 years later with salt or cinnamon, which was a luxury, which means you couldn't have it. Kings and noblemen and people of high ranking, they got that stuff. You would never see that stuff ever. Tea? Yeah, right. But somebody came in and basically in the tavern and sold something like that, that's the only way they would have it, that they got it. They're going to charge it to the roof because it's an expensive item. You can imagine, I was drinking a hot cup of cocoa and realizing that cocoa at one point was considered to be a drink for royal kings. So next time you're sitting there in the wintertime enjoying a cup of cocoa, remember, only the very elite, rich could have cocoa. Cocoa was designed for the rich. If you were a peasant and you happened to get your hands on some cocoa, say you didn't steal it, you just got your hands on it, they lock you up. You had to steal it. There's no way in the world you would ever be to possess something like that. And it's your status. Can you imagine that? And now you just walk around with cocoa like it ain't nothing because people don't realize the value of cocoa. So now you drink cocoa, get yourself a crown. You are now royalty. And for naysayers that come on my channel who don't know how to crack a book every once in a while, go look it up. You literally got a computer sitting on your phone. I mean, come on, how lazy can you be? And you're literally in an era where you literally have a little computer on your phone and you don't bother to look anything up. Gee whiz Louise. Well, knowledge is not for everybody. Some people, knowledge is just not for them. At all, period. I'm surprised you ever made it this far on the planet. I really do. I'm surprised something hasn't stepped on you. There are just some people just look there and go, geez, how the freak did they even survive? Well, yeah, anything. I guess they must be smart in some areas. I don't know. Dun, 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 dun. First layer. This is the buildup. Ice has the buildup to it. It starts up high in some areas, and then it actually starts to thin out and expand, which is ice. And that's what you're doing, getting it to expand, the buildup. One of these days, I gotta build me a Stargate. And we got this stuff to do it too. We have to literally build a, because we got the mapping equipment that allows us to build Stargate. I'll build it one day. I might build me a full-size one. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Caulking, your best friend for PC mods. Ice is interesting how it forms on its own. And do the entire thing with just a little piece of cardboard. I have a friend of mine who's an excellent artist, never uses brushes. He always finds weird stuff to do his artwork in. It's freaking amazing. I like people like that. People that are not afraid, think outside the box, or care what other people think. That's true freedom, people. That is true freedom. You have one person, you go to a dinner party, that's in there wearing his favorite hockey jersey with a tie, that's a person who's got true freedom at the end of the day. You don't care what the rest of them think at the end of the day. You're living in his world right now. Yep. Those are the kind of people I'll sit down and have a conversation with. The rest of them are yawn fests. Yep. What is his world all about? And this is a black tie event, and they don't care. Ice, ice, baby. Okay. I can't make the rest so far out. I want the ice to come out in different sections there. Freedom! Freedom! Let me put in multi-application. I see him trying. I see him trying so hard. It's sad. I've watched y'all try very hard. You're failing horribly. There's a movie, and it's interesting. The hitman was an albino. Like, he had super, like, cool white eyes and white hair. There was a show with Chevy Chase. This guy also played in there, too. What's the worst it can get? I think it was. It was old one back in the day. I watched it on HBO when I was a kid back in the day. But I'll never forget that hitman. But he did play with something with Burt Reynolds. But anyway, there is an incident where he kills Burt Reynolds' friend. And he tells him camera. He had a camera in his little luxury suite that recorded the whole thing. What happened? He told him if he pushed hard enough, he'd hit the pool. If he was lucky, he didn't make it to the pool. He hit the patio furniture. And now in the same incident, him and this guy, because the guy's in there looking for something, he keeps going back to the apartment, and the other guy is an investigator. He's investigating his friend's death, which is Brent Reynolds. And he finally bumps heads with this guy because the guy's following him and trying to figure out who he is, and it's back and forth. But yeah, they finally had a fight up in that apartment. And man, yeah, he got him over the railing. And the funny thing he said was, "Well, if you're lucky, if you push hard enough, maybe you'll make it to the pool." And the guy's face kind of changed because he remember saying it to his friend. And he didn't make it. He made it no. The other guy made it actually a little closer, but he was nowhere close to the pool. He got decapitated. Head popped off like a bobblehead. Boop. He didn't make it. Yeah, I'm gonna look him up because he played in a couple of really crazy movies. But yeah, that's what I said. Kind of reminds me of these people at the end of the day, that they try so hard to get close. Maybe if you push up hard enough, maybe you'll make it, and you never do. You never do at all. You just hit that. I'll get to that in a few minutes. You just get to hitting that. Oh yeah, that's a lawyer. I'll get back to them later on. Those are lawyers. Yeah, we got a few people we got to sue. But anyway, yeah, he didn't make it. But that's what that reminds me of right there. That's what that reminds me of. Y'all try. I'm just sitting there trying. You know, my stuff is already sold, right? Yeah, we just waiting for our paperwork. That's all we're waiting for. And it can't touch you. Distributor can't touch it. No one can't touch it. Well, I wouldn't even put that stuff out there anyway. That's why we didn't sell it. That's why it's on the website. You can't buy it. You can't sell that thing. That'd be crazy. Man, they'll reverse engineer that thing so fast it's not even funny. A technology that reads outside at 300 lumens? Yeah, they'll reverse engineer that in a hot second. I got people overseas right now probably waiting right now to try to figure out how to break that code on that thing. But, as I said before, that's why we're locking it in. That's why I paid for a global provisional patent for it. I'm not taking any chances at all. And imagine if I had painted that stuff to that glass and it was up there. Ooh, I'd have been in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble trying to get the thing off the... Oh, yeah, definitely would have been a lot of trouble. Everything happens for a reason, man. Everything happens for a reason. So glad it didn't happen. I'd have been in some serious trouble. Very serious trouble. That stuff is the backbone of our... That's a final... I would have painted a final form to a piece of glass. Yeah, seriously, but it messed up. So everything happens for a reason. On top of that, I'd have got sued in the process. You know why? Because that stuff can cause car accidents. I'm glad I went up to zoning, because I went to zoning and I asked some questions about it, and they were like, wait. Is it a static still image? I said, nah, it's just video playback. He said, no, you can't do it. Can't do it. So you'll get sued. Because the reason why we'll get sued is because it's a distraction. That's why. That's why. That's why you don't see certain items anymore. They used to have these little teleprompts on the back of your license plate that would read across and say things, and you could program it in a pad in the front of your dashboard. They got rid of things. They were causing too many fender benders. They had the wheels that had the spinners on. They used to spin. Accidents. Got rid of them. They banned them. They used to have those trucks used to drive around with the LCD monitors on them. Banned those too. Because again, cause accidents. So they won't let you have it. And I can see it. I don't blame them. I see it. I see why. So I could have gotten sued if I had painted that glass and somebody would have had a car accident. Yep, yeah, they got me. And the first thing I asked was, did you check with us first before you did this? And no, I did not check first at all, because I didn't think it was going to be an issue. I thought it was like a regular sign would be just a regular sign, but nope. And it landed me a lawsuit. So God basically knew that, and I didn't know it. He knew it. God didn't know it. And everything worked out. That's the beautiful thing about Jesus. Everything works out. God knows what your blessings want to be. He knows the hurdles you're going to go through with your blessings. He knows the people are going to try to take away your blessings. And he's going to be there to make sure that none of it happens. So, Mr. Williams is a very angry person. Very, very angry. And he does these little campaigns where he says their stuff is fake and not real. Well, the problem you have with that, Mr. Williams, people see my stuff. They can come in and see it. So, bottom line is, I have been around a very long time, a lot longer than you. So when you go to court, the judge is going to ask you, how do you know me? And it's all going to come up, man. I've been around for a very long time. I've done testing on technology. I've had contracts. I've got customers, 9 yards, for years. So to try to prove people that in court or whatever that I'm a scammer at the end of the day, it's not going to work. You're going to lose your shirt in that place. You really are. I'm going to give you a taste of reality when I get done with you. Well, actually, you got several tastes coming. That fellow's going to breach. You're going to call him sooner or later. He's definitely going to call him. Very upset that you used his business, and especially to put your naked photo on it to make it look like it came from his place. That's a very, very serious charge. No, he's going to be charged with identity theft. And again, like I said, if you're convicted, that's a 20-year prison sentence. And then on top of that, it's mail fraud also too, because he used the United States Postal Service to commit the crime. So that's about 40 years right there on that one charge. And then we have a history of him doing this stuff and stopping the company and carrying on. So yeah, your lawyer can't even paint a picture of you as being an outstanding individual. So, good luck on that one right there. But it's not my problem. That's why I said that. Jerk even put his address on where he was at. And this is the part that gets me. That's funny. You put your address on. We know where you're at. I've talked to your building manager. We know where you're at. I even know where your apartment's at. So we know exactly where you're at, Mr. Williams. Why in the world, after knowing where you're at, would you use somebody else's address knowing we already know where you're at? This is the reason why when I sit there on camera and say they're not bright, they're very stupid. There you go. We know where you're at. I don't know where he got the idea. And then your picture's on it. See, this is where you have to sit there and scratch your head and just go, you know what? I'm done. But literally, his picture's on it. And we don't know who you are. Gee whiz Louise. So yeah. Look at that. That's gorgeous. I like that. I got a nice little effect to it right there. Freaking loving it. Now we do the other one the same way. Gotta make it shine. You only get one life. See, that's what people have to understand. You get one life. That's it. Once it's over, that's it. You never can come back, ever. Every minute, every second is precious. You'll never get it back. Now imagine spending the remaining of your time that's left on this earth in lockup. Yep. That's where he's going to be at. He's going to spend the remaining of his time on this earth. And if you think you're not, Mr. Williams, I bet you $1,000 you will. Because now we got 3 people that are filing lawsuits against you. Well, I should start 2, including myself. So, yeah. And you made it so obvious that it all came from you. And like I said, that's like walking into a bank with all your information right directly on your t-shirt. My blood type and everything up there. This is who I am. Yep, this is exactly what you did. Self-snitching on a whole nother level. You've already been in the system already, so we already know that. Got your fingerprints. All that, everything. Got your voice recordings. I'm sending all that information over to the funeral home so they can have a nice understanding of who you are. Anything they need, they can reach out to us on anything they need. And I'm going to see you in court. You're going to have 3 court dates. It got to be me. I got to be in there. Other guy's probably going to, he's going to file, so he's going to be in there. And my sister's filing. My sister is ticked. She said, I can't wait to meet the managers. I got something to say to them. Yeah, she's ticked. They all going to get sued. Somebody losing a job. Somebody about to be unemployed. Well, unemployed ain't your worst part right now. Unemployed and broke. They're getting sued. They had the opportunity to squish that nonsense. Now, for those of you saying the landlord, oh yes, the landlord is inspected. I do my research in the day. I definitely do my research. I looked it up. Landlord's responsible. Yes, they are. If the landlord knew, say the landlord didn't know anything at all. If he didn't know anything at all, he's not responsible. But say the landlord did know this activity was triggering off and going on, and they ignored it, it can be sued. Yep. So say you got somebody in your building that's stalking you or carrying on and acting up, and you brought it to the landlord's attention, and the landlord did nothing about it, which is a violation of the lease, and he did nothing about it because he wanted the money, you can sue the building and the landlord involved. And it's an open and shut case. I read through their lease. The fact that there is proof that he's posing identity theft as a minister and ripping people up, and they were notified about it, and he did nothing about it. And now the fact that you stole somebody else's identity and used their address to commit crimes. Yep, they're done. You know, that's how fast you mess your life up. Once you get something like that on your record, man, that's kind of a hard thing to clean up. On top of that, you got to pay that money back. You know, the managers are getting sued. I told them, suing every last one of them. Last conversation I had, I'm filing lawsuits against all your guys. So they got to pay that money up. And those lawsuits are going to be hefty. They don't make that kind of money to pay that kind of money. That's why we're suing them on that level like that. They don't pay a lot of money up. And you got other people involved in this mess too. He triggered off, and they did nothing about it. Oh yeah, the people that are responsible for maintaining that building are going to be ticked, because they're going to figure out why their building got slammed with multiple lawsuits. When they find out that it was somebody in there and it was brought to their attention, because they're going to reach out to me. They're definitely going to reach out to me. I told them, yeah, we reached out to them multiple times, and they ignored it. All that could have been avoided if they had just listened to us. Yeah, someone's going to lose their job with that mess. So I hope it was worth it. I hope it was worth it. And if that's my apartment complex, you show me proof, evidence, you're getting to freak out. You're not messing up my company, my business at the end of the day. But you have to understand, it's not their building. They're managers. It's not their building. They're leasing the manager. Somebody owns that unit. That's what we're seeking right now. We're seeking the owner. If it's owned by the city, whoever it is, whoever got it, we're seeking them. Let them know the situation we had in that building. But yeah, you'd have been out of the building. Definitely in a hot second. I don't know where in the world I would have you in there. And get me sued? Oh, heck no. So and if they do take me to court at the end of the day, oh, Mr. Bird, what'd you do? We terminated his lease. We got him out. That's what we did. At least that helps me at the end of the day, you know. That helps me. I got a leg to stand on, so to speak. At least I did something about it. But that one guy, I think his name is Darren. Darren, if you listen to this right now, you're going to wish you weren't born when we get done with you. You're going to wish you weren't born when I get done with you. I'm literally going to flat out sue the daylights out of you. Because we had conversations. I talked to you man to man, and you addressed the issue as if you want to take care of it and played around with it. I know you're regretting that decision right now. I'm going to let you know, personally, I'm going to basically take everything from you. And I mean, literally, I'm going to leave you broke, penniless, homeless, the whole 9 yards. And if I can possibly get jail time in there somewhere, I'm going to ask for it. Because we told you what this guy was. And this guy now stole the identity of a funeral parlor and put his naked body on an open postcard and passed it all around. Man, That thing alone is going to be a lawsuit. I know that's going to be a lawsuit. Oh, yeah. I left Mr. The guy, the managers, I left all your information with that fellow. So he's going to reach out to you and have a nice little conversation with you. Because I'd be ticked off if I found out somebody was posting my business at the end of the day, using my address, and then you got naked pictures of yourself. Talk about self-snitching on the whole level. Oh, heck yeah, head's going to roll. Could have messed my business up that way. Imagine somebody saw that and they contacted the Better Business Bureau and said, yeah, there's a guy at a funeral home sending half-naked pictures of himself. They don't know what that guy looks like. They're just going by what they're seeing on the cards. He could have had a whole lot of problems out of that mess. So yeah, he's going to sue like crazy. He is. And then here's the thing too. Another thing that plays a part in lawsuits. How deep is the well? Because you can only get so much out of a person. So how deep is the well? This is a building, because we did the background check on the entire unit. So there are several of these units, these buildings. So yeah, they have millions and millions of dollars worth of insurance on there. So, yeah, they're going to get hit pretty hard. If you're suing like somebody's apartment complex, there's a certain amount of insurance they have on it. But these particular buildings are different. They have low rises and high rises. They have a whole community of these things. So yeah, they got the money to shell out $10 million easily, very easily. And then the embarrassment behind this thing is going to be even worse, because it clearly shows that they had the opportunity to remove somebody that could have been even a potential risk and danger to tenants with inside the building itself, and ignored it. God forbid if somebody starts a meth lab, they look at it and go, oh no, there's nothing wrong there. Nothing wrong. That's craziness. Man, I got a citation for playing my music too loud one time. And they were talking about removing me out of the building over music. So, yep. Get that fire and ice, get the same. Gotta keep that flex, gotta keep it flexy. And I'm only gonna need to do this side right here because there's some of the ice effect going on. Got the ice going on. Ice, baby. Up. Man. People just be messing it up. I bet you they probably said the same thing about me when I went through lockdown. Like, sheesh. That kid, boy, I'm telling you. And what I say, yeah, he definitely gonna be going to jail. He gonna mess up and go to jail. He's always doing something stupid. That was me. Always doing something stupid. He's definitely gonna get locked up. Sure enough, boom, got locked up. Yep. Locked up doing something stupid. Now they say it's easy to get in trouble, it's hard to get out of it. Very easy to get into trouble, hard to get out. Put our frosted tips in thunder, lightning, very, very frightening. Oh, man. All right, let me see. That's done. What the freak am I looking for here? Let me see. Turbo fan on here. It's gonna dry faster. So, part I don't understand is all the chatter. What's the chatter mean to me at the end of the day? You go on your channel and you cry and whine about my technology? What do I care at the end of the day? What does that mean to me at the end of the day? I have options. Do you understand my options at the end of the day? If I want to cater to companies, I can cater to companies and skip customer base. If I want to do customization, I got customization capability. AdTech does everything it wants to do. I can drop everything and just use AdTech for advertising. You know how much money advertising is? I can just go into the advertising business. I have multiple options since we conquered the sun. You guys are stuck. in categories. You can't go in any direction you want. You're stuck. Or I have options in front of me. Or I can just sell out. Get a ton of money and leave. So all that chatter and ranting on it doesn't really mean nothing to me at the end of the day. You can tell people every single day, don't buy my product, and I can open up a showroom and bring people into it to see my product. The doubters is what brings me a lot of money. They're the ones that come in to see my technology. They come in to see what all the hype is all about. So you work for me. And I don't pay you a dime. Thank you for the service. I appreciate it. If that was the case and your campaigns work, I wouldn't be having this conversation right now. My websites wouldn't be running. I wouldn't even have my YouTube channel. I've been out of business. But since I'm still here, I'm still making technology, well, I guess it didn't work, did it? Common sense. So all that crying and whining you do, people coming in already seen what our technology, they've seen the history of my company, they see what we're all about. We're already set up already. Can't change their minds in any whatsoever. They look at you as trolls. That's what they see you as. They don't see you nothing more than just trolls. That's all they see you as. They laugh at you. Did you know that? Yep, they laugh at them. They see you as trolls. That's like you trying to tell people at the end of the day that the car we develop over here is green. And they've been in the showroom multiple times, and the cars are yellow. And you're on your YouTube channel ranting like, no, they're green cars, and they're like, no, in there I saw the car with my own eyes, it's yellow. Good luck on that one. So you're labeled as a troll. Man, that person's just full of a lot of hatred at the end of the day. Gee whiz Louise. And we can look at the car right here and tell you that the car is freaking yellow. Yeah, that's you kind of out yourself as being a troll. So your campaign is for nothing. Your campaign doesn't mean jack if the investors are coming in to see the screen with their own eyes. What does your campaign do now? Nothing. And all it does at the end of this gives us the grounds to take it to court and sue you for a lot of money that you don't have. Or take time from you that you don't have either. So, it don't do any good. Now, we send you one of those orders to send us black paint, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. You don't want one of those, do you? Somebody got one of those. And that carries a prison sentence because we can prove in federal court that you committed a crime against my company by making false statements on your YouTube channel about my product not working. That's going to carry some serious jail time. We can prove that you committed the crime. All right then, you don't want your freedom. You'd rather be in jail, having someone tell you what to do and when to do it all the time, right? That's what you want. That's what you want, right? That's what you want. And occasionally shower raping. That's what you want. That's what you're going to get for the rest of your life. Mind you, but when they have the parole board, if you're eligible for parole, I have to be there. I have to be there to give the approval whether or not you can go out, you can leave. So we can sit there and go, no. I think you should do another 10 more years. Just do another 10 more years. You get denied parole, the board denies it. Or they can just deny it from the door. Somebody controlling the fate of your life. You only get one of them. That's where it stands right there. I can take it anywhere I want to go. Anywhere I want to go. I got to build me a simulator for my controllers over there. I haven't built one of those things yet. We should build one. Oh, that would be cool though. Alright, don't get your mind off on someplace else. Keep it focused, Mr. Bird. Your mind always goes someplace else. Let's build this. Let's put that together. Let's assemble this. Let me see. I talk about it, people, because it's sad. It's sad that people wreck their lives so fast, so quick. Just like that. Gone. Wrecked it. Destroyed it. He's like, man, you have no idea the heat he's about to get hit with. Yeah, that guy from the funeral home is going to be ticked when he opens up that email. And he's got all the information and where to go to. He got your apartment number. And you screwed up big time, man. You had a good opportunity and you messed it up. Look what Satan got you to do. Satan got you to strip down and embarrass yourself. He got you to use somebody else's address. He knew you're gonna get time for that. He knew that from the door. Then harass us, harass our business. You're gonna get time for that too, because you attacked an office building. And on top of that, once we get to court, we show the judge that you were impersonating the minister and you were taking donations between you were scamming the population. Identity theft again. So no matter what your lawyer does, your public defender does, that's pretty much what he's going to be, the only can afford, is the fact that we can paint a picture that you have a habit of stealing people's identities. And then the fact that you're sending over these weird pictures about sexual assault, and then you're posing to be a minister, those two things don't go together too well. That's a very creepy picture. People usually choose those particular figures because those are the kind of people that can get close to kids or anyone else and not be questioned. I guarantee that people in your building, if they found out what you were, they would get a petition to get you out. Or, worse, it might get some angry father or mother. And then you're going to wish the police would get there fast enough. You know, people at the day, somebody touch your kids, you ready to kill somebody. Imagine you had kids and you were living next door to that. What are you going to say, Mr. Williams, at the end of the day? We can't say that? Yes, we can. You sent real creepy pictures and you're in a building with a bunch of kids. Normal people don't have that kind of creepy behavior. When they start showing that kind of creepy behavior, people want them out of the building. And the building kept you. That makes it far worse for them. And just so you know, no one's going to ask for PDOs. We don't want a PDO at all. Heck no. The highest amount that we can get out of you, the most jail time we can get this guy at the end of the day. Yeah. If some of these businesses will cut your check, we can make this all go away. No, we won't. No, this is going to go all everywhere. No, you made a mistake. This is going to cost you. And the reason why is because that manager, when he tries to get a job, he's going to be labeled with this mess for the rest of his life. Good luck getting a job after this. But then, you're going to pay me up a lot of money too, so you're going to have to figure some kind of job out. Now we got to reach out to the landlord over for Jamie. We got to reach out to his landlord because I'm suing him. Unless we can figure out exactly what went on. I do believe he had to know what was going on in that apartment. But then again, with the risk he is at the end of the day, and right now the risk he is now, if he did find out, he would remove him. So, there's that. Man, all you guys had to do was just lay low and stay out of trouble. That's all you had to do. And you managed to screw it up. And the worst thing about it is, you managed to screw it up in the prime of your life. That's even worse. When you do stuff when you're young, you know, you got time if you get out, depending on what you do, and jack yourself up and you do something light. At least you got some time when you get out. You get 10 years, you're 16 coming in, you got time. Get out, you're like 26, got time, plenty of time. Get out in your 30s, you're still good. But you don't want to be going in a freaking 30 and looking at charges at 20 years. Well, 20 years, you'd be 50 when you get out. And these guys are in their 50s. Anything at 50 and you get hit with a charge, it's a life sentence. That's really what it is. Most people don't make it past 60. Most people don't make it to 60. Some people don't even make it to 50. And then that environment is extremely stressful at the end of the day. That's going to up the chances of any heart attacks, strokes, or anything else you're going to have along the way. Anxieties like you would not freaking even believe. You don't want to get in trouble at 50. You get in trouble at 50, that's a life sentence. 10 years? They're going to be 60-something years old. You might even make it to 60. Not in that environment. Very stressful. You get 20, that's 70 years. And you're done. I watched that defamation, yeah. And that police officer got 250 years. He was already roughly, I say, in his 40s. And you just have to sit there and watch that nonsense and say, but then again, you did it yourself. I have to keep in mind, because I'm on the other shoe, that I know what that feels like, because I can feel that. I know what they feel like, because I've been on that side of the fence already. But man, the things that go through your mind, that I really messed my life up. I had one life, and I messed it up. That's what goes through your mind. You just, now I met everybody, you met yourself, messed it up. I could have been doing something right now. I could be out on the beach. I could be hanging out with my friends. I could be doing anything but being in this place being judged. It's a feeling you'll never, sorry about that. It's a feeling you'll never forget as long as you live. That regret. You could have did something different. That police officer got 250 years. I mean, he was out there doing all that dirt to begin with. He was raping those women. Now he's sitting up in court in the same place that you sent people at the end of the day. Now you're in the same seat. Legs shaking, head between your legs, tears coming down your face. Cry so much you got a freaking headache. And you just hearing the verdicts being called off one by one. Man, they read that first one, and he got freaking 5 years. I'm like, that's not where you want to start off at 5 years. You got that first one at 5 years. Then went from 5, he got 10. That's 15 years. That's 15 years. The next one came in was 20. 20 years. He got 250 accounts against him. And one was 5, and that's when he started putting this shit down, shaking his head. The other one was 10. But when they read that 20, he was done. He was just shaking. He was nothing but a ball of nerves. And at the age he was going in, and calculate by that, yeah, but that wasn't over. They just kept calling him. Went to 6, and went to 10, and went to 30. Altogether, he got 250 years in jail without parole. You just gotta think about that, man. I mean, some people get the wrong end of the stick in life, and they have no choice but to try to survive, and that's what they gotta go through in life. Unfortunately, they gotta go through it. Some people have to go through that. Some people are saying, oh, everybody got a choice. Some people don't have choices in life. They don't get them. You don't feel like they don't have that choice. You know, you grow up and your parents drink and they're on drugs and they're carrying on and acting up, and you don't even know when your next meal is going to come in or how you're going to feed your brothers and sisters and stuff like that. That's a real life scenario. You're too young to get a job. You can't get a job to feed your family, and the ones that are supposed to be responsible don't do what they're supposed to do. So what else are you supposed to do? Ain't nobody going to hire you, so they sell, make their money to survive. And when the judge sits there and says, oh, but you have a choice, what choice would you have at freaking 13 and 14 years old? Where you have a choice? I seen young boys on the corner selling at 13 and 14 years old. They're bringing food home to their family. Their brothers and sisters keep the lights on at 13 and 14 years old. And people want to judge them at the end of the day and say, oh, well, this, that, and the other. No, they did to survive. But then you got some people who already had it, and they just messed it up. They screwed it up. When you live in a neighborhood like that, you understand the neighborhood. But people outside the neighborhood, you don't know it. And you see that young boy sitting on the corner trying to make a little money, he's trying to basically, he's not out there to get the fancy car and to get the clothes and stuff. He's trying to survive. He's trying to keep the lights on for his family, the heat on, take care of his brothers and sisters, be the man in the house when his father's sitting there too high out there running the streets, and the mother, God knows you don't know where. I remember walking up and down my buddy pulling his mother out of a bar. Shame, my mom was not like that. That's when my mom was considered to be the mother of the neighborhood. She took all those kids in. That's why I say you're lucky. You're lucky I'm a man, not a man of trouble. If I was a man of trouble, all I'd do is just talk to a few people, and yeah, you wouldn't be on YouTube no more. That's a disrespect for her. She's past 2 on top of that, yeah. But anyway, yeah, she kept a lot of them kids could have got a lot of trouble, talking out of a lot of stuff, got a lot of them in the church, stuff like that. Man, that's crazy, man. 3 o'clock in the morning, my buddy going to a bar, pulled his mom out of the bar. I think, man, I'm glad my mom was something like this. I felt bad for her. And then just got to the point, it is what it is. It's that their life is just how it is. Yep. But that cop at the end of the day, looking at him, I'm like, what the freak? Beautiful trophy wife. He's a bodybuilder. He played college football. Got a good job. Everybody liked him on the force. He's a well-liked person. Had a nice big house. Made plenty of money. Went on vacations, the whole 9 yards. And he just thought, one day in a police car, I'm just going to rape a whole bunch of black people. And I'm just going to wreck my life. That's pretty much the only thing I think he did. And now he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison. Forever. How's that process? I don't even know how to that process in your head. Yep. Now, I was young. At my age when I was young, I was out there carrying on and acting up. I felt that I was at immortality. That nobody can touch me. It came from me at the end of the day as a person who had to basically show that I had to be this person in order to get people to leave me the freak alone. Because in the neighborhood, people will test you. You ain't got a reputation in there. You're not known for something at the end of the day. People will try you. They try to take your stuff from you, your clothes, try to rob you when you get your check. They'll try all that stuff. You jack a few people up pretty bad, they don't mess with you. They know you're the type of person that'll hurt somebody. And you pick up a reputation for being that person, they don't come near you with a 10-foot pole. They say one heat. So you got to become that person. Get that reputation. Unfortunately, the reputation comes with a price. Mine came with a price. You know, you do it a little bit because then at the end of the day, you just want to prove at the end, but then you become that person. You definitely become that person. And after that, there's no going back. You are what you are. That was my situation. I think the more bigger fish I ran into, the more I had to prove. And that's where my situation came in for me. Everybody has their own situation why they had to go to get locked up and be in that place. It's funny how you have some judges that did live in places like that. There is in those neighborhoods. But you know, people forget sometimes. And they sit there and say you have a choice. You didn't have a choice. I guarantee you didn't have a choice. Right. Now you have choices, and so people have choices. We'll go in our areas down that came up. And then you got the suburban. You guys are interesting. You really are. You're interesting. The suburbians. Some of the suburbians came up from the Badlands, and they were blessed to be in the suburbs. And some of them change, become different people, and they even hate their own people at the end of the day because they think they're better than their own people. We call you guys Uncle Toms. You already know what they are. At the end of the day, that's what you come. I know a few people like that. Got up there and just disown their own kind at the end of the day because they think they're better. And yeah, we got them. And then you got the ones that never forget where they came from. They still touch base with the people. They still, you know, go out and chill and see how they doing and everything. But they know not to get in trouble because they work too hard to get what they got. But they haven't touch base. But then you got the ones that have the kids that, I don't know, they guess they enjoy their life, but then you got some that want to think they gangsters. And I bumped a bunch of them in the suburbs, man, walking around their pants sag around their waist and talking all this stuff and everything, little fake gang symbols and stuff they put up and carrying. They think they want to be tough. All right, you know what? Driving down there by Diamond Gratz. Who was it? David Chappelle? What was it? White Swap, where the kid was in there talking rap and all that stuff. He said, "Oh, you want that life? I'll give you that life." He drove him right down there. Yeah, okay. Say a little Ray for me. Yep. You don't want that life. You got the option to go to the store. You know, gunfire. Dogs. You don't find no bodies. Can't go in a lot. No flip flops on. There ain't nothing but needles in there waiting for you. God knows whatever else is in there. Walking past houses and at nighttime, flicker and a lighter's going off in the background because there's crackheads in there getting high. And you gotta worry about the day who's trying to break in your house while you're at church, trying to steal your air conditioner out of your window. Got rules. Go to Chinese store to pick up food. Always order your food. Never sit in there and wait. You never know what's gonna come in after you, or what just conspired in that environment that you're gonna get caught up in. Order your food. Get the freak out. Don't even stick around. All these rules you got to follow at the end of the day. I get the suburbs, ain't none of the rules existing up there. But yet, I go in and look at them, and they want to be gangster at the end of the day. So I can get them out of that. And I'm taking them to Strawberry Mansion. Where is that? Spend the summer up there in Strawberry Mansion. We got the coast on. The father's worried to death. Yeah. One of my nephews is like that. I know my nephews, but my brother's kids were like that. Thought he was a straight up gangster. And we brought him to Strawberry Mansion. Boy, he wouldn't want to come out of the house. He was terrified. Is that fireworks? No, it ain't fireworks. That sound like fireworks to you? Then you realize like how sensitized you get to it all. Because I remember when they moved the college kids in, when they were basically changing the neighborhood over to gentrify, and they brought a couple of college kids in. And all you hear, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. Like go farther down, and gunfire was going off down there, and they were all on the ground, Like we just look at them like, what the freak are you doing down there? It's way down over there. It's like halfway from the side of the block. Ain't no way they're gonna travel over here. They firing in the air in this direction. That's basically how it is. You're gonna hear that a lot. How often do you hear it? A lot. You hear it a lot. Depending on where you at. At least they got a chance to get some of that street life. Man, we got to teach them so much at the end of the day. It was like, look at them like, oh my goodness, we're going to get slaughtered in this neighborhood. I swear they're not going to leave that alone. We got to tell them all kinds of shit. Look, man, when you get out of your car, shut a car door. Turn off the engine, shut the car door. Do not leave doors open. Don't leave keys in the door. Don't leave the trunk open. None of that. If you got the trunk open, you bring your groceries in. You ever notice they always have somebody outside? There's always somebody outside from the family members watching the trunk, for somebody walking and taking something out of your trunk. So you have 2 or 3 people outside for the family, and the rest of them bringing stuff up. There's always somebody. If they rotate and leave a person out there, because you never know, he's gonna walk up on your porch and take anything off your porch. When you open up your door, I had to tell the girl, you open the door. Don't open the door. You gotta teach my exit. I'm like, what's wrong with you people at the end of the day? You open the door like, hey, how you doing? You don't live that life anymore. Open the door. You go to the curtain, you look out the door. People got the Ring cameras now. They look on the Ring cameras now. But that made them soft too on top of that. The Ring cameras made them soft. But my friend of mine had her, and the Ring camera stopped working for a day. And she was like, someone knocked on the door. It's not for lawn care. Knocked on the door. And she's like, I can't go to the door. She can't go to that curtains. Open the curtains. Like, yo, what the frick do you want? That's it. But I don't want to say anything to them. Really? The Ring camera's got people that soft at the end of the day. Just open up the curtain and go, what do you want? Simple. Use your indoor voice. And they'll say, hey, I'm doing lawn care. And we're like, okay, thank you so much. You leave your business card in the mailbox. That's it. And we're going their merry way. That's all. She was terrified to go to the door because of the Ring camera. Got comfortable with the Ring camera. Okay. There's that. Not everybody's going to treat the Ring camera the same way. It depends on where you're at, because Mr. Frank across the street that's been in the service, he's going to sit there and have a conversation with you, and then that conversation is just going to stop because he's already in front of the house with a gun and waiting for you. Because I know people like that. That conversation stopped. You need to get off that property as fast as you possibly can, because they're already out the door. They're not the type of people going to run for you. They're the type of people going to come after you. So yeah, question. What you want? All right. Okay. All right. Okay, now go. That's it. Yeah, man. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, finish it. What we call here. Killing time. Let's see. Let's start our fire thing. So figure out how we're gonna build this fire. Fire. I need fire. 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 Let me see. Fire and flames. Well, that's actually a rock group. Yeah, that's cool. Gotta listen to them later on. Okay, let me see. Oh, we need cardboard for the structure of it. I get it from there. So, we need scissors. Jack, remember, you keep forgetting to buy scissors. We're definitely need scissors to make fire. I'll bring you fire. I'm definitely going to do my screen so I can definitely show it all. Alright, let me see. Yeah, we don't even have cardboard in here for this. Oh. Easiest to call. Making fire from silicone. Fire model, basic. Okay, that's different one. We need one there. Let's see. How did you make an object look like it's on fire? No, when we finish, how to make an object look like it's on fire? Nothing there at all, period. So we definitely need caulking and silicone to do it, definitely. But I gotta figure out exactly how we're gonna get the silicone to stand up the way we want it to. Which then probably would involve the caulking to do that. Oh, it's going to be a build-up process. Mother Frankenstein. That's a build process. You have to get it to, I have to have a structure for it to do it. So, let's try something here. Oh, the chicken crossed the road to get to the other side. Oops, I think I went the wrong way. Chicken on the side. It'd be hot. Somebody started a rock group. Song we call "Why Did the Chicken Cross the Road to Get to the Other Side?" Chicken. Dun, 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 dun. Other side. Dun, 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 dun. And we built our wall for it. Yeah, they put that air conditioner. I knew I felt something different. I was like, wait a minute. Why do I feel cool air over here? Like they couldn't have. They did. I think they got like temperature control. They can keep it cool. I want to put some kind of some whatchamacallits on that because the metal, some metal plates or something to cause it. Because man, I ain't gonna freeze to death in here, man. I don't have to run projectors. I don't have to run the big boys in here. And it kind of reminds me, if we feel that online doesn't want to engage our products anymore, then we go offline because they buy. If it's all personal at the end of the day, if it comes down to being personal, you know, or you guys feel at the end of the day that, you know, then we go offline then. We'll make more money there. You know why? I get more money offline for myself. A gallon, we get $500 over here. Online, so offline, I get $700. I make a lot more money offline. So yeah, we'll go there. You know, that's what happened to. It comes down to point, and the Lord says, "Hey, dust off the sand from your sandals, and go about your business." Just leave and go about your business. At the end of the day, we still make our money. And this Lord tells us, don't do that. We don't do it anymore. We just leave. That's it. And that's the thing about people have to understand that when Jesus came here, his intention wasn't to save everybody because it wasn't meant for us to have that salvation. It was meant for God's people, his Jewish communities, Jewish people. And some people don't want to accept that. You're going to have to accept the entire Bible, whether you like it or not. But that's what happened. It was for God's people. God's chosen people are the Jews. People get mad and they weren't so and so and so. Yeah, Jesus hung on the cross. What did it say over top of it? Here is King of the Jews. King of the Jews. Jesus was Jewish. I paid somebody arguing that Jesus was black. Moving on. Anyway, I literally have people arguing that Jesus is black. You show me anywhere in South Africa where it shows Jesus Christ. Anywhere in Africa, Jesus was not black. Jesus is Jewish. And when people talk about where it said bronze skin, you're in the middle of the desert where they're at. The skin tones to the sun, they got a bronze color to them. You ever seen? I've seen Arabics that actually been out in the sun and their skin has this beautiful golden color to it. Jesus is not black. He's Jewish. When he was on the cross, did they say, here lies Jesus, kings of the blacks? They didn't say that's the Jews. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I'm really had that conversation on somebody level. People get mad. You get up and sit me and scream at me. I'm like, go ahead. I mean, I told you the truth. Can't accept the Bible. They can't. I don't know how it's going to work out. I ain't the one you got to worry about. That other one you don't have to worry about. He knows the whole book. Oh, the Benty toadies, the Benty toadies, the Benty. Like when casting on and the toadies curl up on the end. I call them some Benty toadies. They're so Benty. Oh, I got so many pictures of these Benty toadies. Look at those Benty toadies. Look how the Benty toadies are Benty. That's his toe right there, bending right over his Benty toadies. My little man. He drive me crazy sometimes, but that's my little man. We got seafood platter coming up. They're gonna take him out to get some seafood. My people, on the other hand, hook them with that $100 seafood platter. You get lobster, shrimp, whole 9 yards. You get it all. They hook them up every time. And you spend how much? The first time I found you spend how much for this? They give them a little board of oysters, not a lot. You can have a lot of them. $100 platter. So they pick out what they want. The corn, you can't do that stuff, but the lobster and all that stuff, yeah, they hook them up. I can't use the lobster. They don't get no spigot. He don't get spigot over here. You get all bottled water. I give him bottled water from day one. All bottled water, baby. All bottled water. Yeah. Jesus came over here. It was supposed to be for his people. And his people wouldn't accept it. They didn't want to accept the Messiah. So Jesus opened up the gateway so everybody can be saved. Even them, they still can be saved. But it wasn't meant to be there. When I read that in the Bible, I said, wow, that's crazy. I was not meant to be saved. There's only the chosen, the God's people. The Jewish were meant to be saved. So, I'm happy either way. I accept it. It's God at the end of the day. God does what he wants to do. I love that people at the end of the day feel that God should be controlled by their own point of views. You're not God at the end of the day. Can you bring yourself back? You can't, can you? Once you die, you die. That's over with. How in the way are you going to think that you think in the same process as God? God does what he wants to do. It's his world at the end of the day. It's not ours. We think it's ours, but it's not ours. We think it's ours until you get one of them catastrophic tornadoes that pop up, like a category class 10, a freaking land sweeper pop up, and you realize how small and frail you are. Sometimes we have to be reminded where our place is at. Now, who are you praying over? Who are you praying? When that giant tornado rips through, it sounds like a freight train over top of you. You're praying to God, aren't you? But then you recognize where it came from. That's sometimes God has to put the fear. Because people walk upon this earth all day long and they think that at the end of the day they're big, bad, until God brings something down on top of you. And now you're huddled in a corner somewhere praying for your life. Don't forget. We said, boy, don't forget who I am. Come up out of that cellar a whole different person, don't you? A whole different person. You come out a whole different person. Got a new lease on life. New respect for God at the end of the day. But we never learn. We go back. Some people know, and some people do. Like I said, everybody's got a timeline on how long you get to live here on this planet. Think of it as an interesting type of rent. That in your timeline is how long you get to stay here. And when you leave, you never come back. You don't go back anywhere. Except for that place over there waiting for you over there. That's the only place you can go. So, just think of it as rent. You know, you can be a good tenant, you can be a bad tenant. If you're a bad tenant, you're going to a very bad, bad place. If you're a good tenant, you're going to a very good place. That's a very interesting way of putting it, right? It is. Yep. Jerry Seinfeld talked about how we move from, we carry everything in boxes. We do. Everything's a box. And he's not joking about that. Everything's a box. When you move, everything in boxes. You move from place to place, box to box to box. Your final move is your coffin. You never have to worry about ever moving again. That's your last move on this planet. There's a box. And when he said that, I said, it's an interesting theory. Yep. Some people get terrified and think about themselves. And, hey, you can't think about yourself in a box because you don't even know you're in a box. No one knows exactly what goes on in the mind when you pass off this earth. I know you're not a part of this world anymore. I mean, you know, some people get mad when I sit there and tell them at the end of the day that when you die off this earth, you have no connection back here ever again. You can never see your family again. You have no connection back. You don't have a guard. You have a guardian angel, I guess, from God, but not from your family members. They have no connection to this world ever again. This world is cursed. If your family member goes to heaven, they have no memory of this world. Not even you. At all, period. Why would God give them memory of a cursed world? In heaven, there's no sadness, there's no pain, there's nothing at all but pure, sheer happiness. So why would God give them access to this world that's full of pain, suffering, and destruction? You couldn't be at peace in heaven if you look over and you're watching your family members sin and commit crimes and do all kinds of stuff. You wouldn't be at peace, would you? So that's why you have no access back to that world. My mother doesn't know who I am anymore. She's gone. She's in a whole new world. She has no memory of any of her family members. Nothing. This world is cut off from her. Does that make me sad? No. That's the way it is. I accept it. I'm happy she's where she's at. And I would never want her to be able to see what goes on in this world. Because it'd be horrifying. That's when people said that my family members watching. No, they're not watching you. They don't even know you anymore. They will only know you when you pass off this earth and you make it to the next life. They will know you. Now they don't know you. I got families right now that are living in grief. They're still in grief. They're still in pain. I'm not in pain anymore. My pain left the minute my mother passed away. I had no pain at all. Because I know she went home. She went to go see Jesus. Why should I be upset about that? That's a celebration. She is with God right now. The beginning and end. The creator of all things. She's with him. Can you imagine how amazing that has got to be? I couldn't even think how amazing that is. My mind's not wired to even think on that level, on how amazing that is. But she made it. She's on the other side. She has eternal life. She will not go through suffering and pain that we will go through on this planet. She'll know none of it at all whatsoever. That's a happy thing at the end of the day. And one day, I'll be there. And one day, my brothers and sisters will be there. They're getting baptized one by one. They're getting saved. They're getting closer to Christ. They're going to Bible study, all that. I'm watching them all fall in line. Yep. They're separating themselves from this world. So, that being said, yeah, they don't have any memory of it. If something pops up in your home and it looks like one of your family members, you need to get the freak out of the house as fast as you can. Get somebody in the church to come back with you, a very strong member, to get whatever's in there out. Because that's not what you think is at the end of the day. That's something else in there. And you should not have in there. Yep. Sat there and said in the Bible that the devil can come in the form of an angel. So if someone's in there, that ain't what you think it is. And people entertain them. It's craziness. They entertain them. Oh, that's give it a name. They give it a name, literally. I bet you if that thing popped up and showed its true form, you wouldn't even give it a name. You'd be calling out God's name. You're entertaining something you should not be entertaining. Where do you give it a name? Y'all come to your house and say, oh, that's Sarah. Oh, goodbye. I gotta go. See you later. Praying on the way out. Nope, I'm good. Bye-bye. See you later. No, I don't gotta meet anybody. I'm good. I'm good. Bye. Bye. I'll get my VRs. I gotta hit my VRs up. I only got a 50 horn. Oculus 2 VR specifications for PC. So, the person who was basically talking about the 1050, again, you don't know specifications for jack. The 1050 can run the Oculus glasses. Requirement is a NVIDIA GTX 970. It requires an i5 4590. That's that's low specifications. HDMI compatible 1.3. Definitely have output for USB 3.04. Or use 2.1 Windows 7 all over the top. Let me see. That's the first one. Let's look. Second one. Oculus 2 PC support. So a Radeon 400 series or better. So 580 is good enough. Now I can have an i5 in there, but I'm going to use an i7 4970. So specifications that shows could run it. No problem. I can also run your Sony VRs in it too. Which I think that's what we're going to do here. Might as well put my VR station in. I don't bother hooking my my Oculus to the store. I did that one already. I had it when it first came out. Some of the games were good, but didn't have a lot of games. The library was really, really weak. And since it was a 720p setup, and you're running through a PC which had a much higher graphic card, the games came out a little bit more like a little choppy. I felt it was like not 144p, but like more like 480p. That's what it felt like. But now the new system's much better. It's got an AirLink system, completely wireless and all that cool stuff, and it is running in 4K. I mean, it's easy to go fantastic with the card I have. Let me see. $580 graphic card. Can you run 4K? So again, I can't educate the naysayer enough. Naysayer, why must you act this way? This is how I know you're not PC. I know. A 580 can run 4K easily. Because for some reason in their mind they think you gotta have. You know, I don't know how we get this thought process from. Their thought process is that for some reason, because it's PC, they forget to need this bulky, massive, giant, freaking super card at the end of the day. No, you don't need a bulky, giant super card at the end of the day. It's like getting car parts, you know what I mean? You can have the top of the line, and you can basically have, you know, the basics, and then you can have bare minimum. You have options. There's so many parts out there. That's why. But thinking like a console gamer and thinking you have to have the most beefiest, most expensive parts, not true. So let me educate the naysayer real quick. Let's help you at the end of the day, since you seem to have a very difficult time trying to figure out what the PC world is actually about. I got a kicker for you. Build a machine at the end of the day. Some of you link to your channel can see the machine you put together, including all modifications. I got one of he's probably going to use the stock fans on the graphic card. Yeah, right. Stock fans. Some slow freaking RPMs on there. And I'm taking those suckers clean off, man. If I'm going to be upping it, a 5090, I'm not even running fans on. I'm doing liquid cooling on that. There's no way in the world I'm going to run freaking the stock fans on that piece of investment. Number two, I'm adding my own dedicated power supply. There is no way in the world I'm going to share the power supply that's running off this system on a 5090. Not going to happen. And if I'm doing a liquid cool system on it, of course, either I'm going to do reservoir, which I'm probably not because that get a little too messy and complicated for me at the end of the day. But basic AIO system on it, I'm definitely going to be upping the RPMs on it. I'm going to sandwich this baby. I'm going to have the 4,000 from the top to the bottom. And then with that said, I'm going to put a fan speed controller separately so I can speed up those RPMs. I can just hook it straight into the motherboard, but then it can be an issue with the motherboard not being able to handle the wattage of those fans. Now, did you just understand anything I just said to you? Not you guys. I'm talking about the person came in talking all this trash about PCs, and you don't know the first thing about a PC. Oh, he probably knows how to turn it on. That's probably as far as it goes. Oh my goodness, I turned it on. I'm such a PC tech. I forgot the motherboard. You're right. Yes, the AMD Radeon RX 5080 can technically run 4K. Yes, it can. Did you know that? Did you even know it can do that? It can run 4K. That's rather interesting. A 3050 runs 4K. Did you know that? But in their mind, at the end of the day, they forget to have some massive, giant, beefy card to run 4K. If that's the case, no PC gamer could game. The card parts would be way too expensive. If you're running basic, you can easily run 50. The RX 580 can support. For gaming, the RX 580 can support 4K, but it's limited. It can still pick it up. They had to make it sound the other day. Some old relic card. It's picking up at 1444p. Got to have a crank shaft in the back to crank it up. It's so old that the freaking instructions is written on a scroll. They made it sound, you can't run that on there. How would you know? You had a PC? Did you build one? Probably got an old PC there with a floppy drive and IDE cables in there. You probably haven't made it over to the hard disk drive. There's probably some data cassette recording. Probably running a 14.4 internet speed. Lightning fast internet speed of my 14.4. Next week I'm going to upgrade to 56 times 2. Just got this baby over here. It's an off yellow optical drive. Runs off the IDE cables alone by itself, acting super snazzy. And the ad, it has a CD burner in it. Wow, I'm in the future, man. I'm in the future. Next week, I'm going to upgrade to DVD. Here are these opticals anymore. I had to buy an optical to load a driver. These are things update. Look at these freaking downloads. I'm talking about they got that freaking stereo 97 sound running through the freaking PCI, not PCI Express, PCI, period. Running probably what, AG was it, AG something, I forgot the name of AGA, what I think it is, for the, that's the old hookup, man. AGA socket for graphic card. Yeah, AGA sockets. Sheesh. One in the O-Scope 270 socket with an Intel. Oh my goodness. Got a big old yellow tower. It's got that off color to it. You know, the game systems, they get that off color to them. No, it's not called AG. It's called AG something. I can't think of the name of it. AGP socket for a graphic card. That's an AGP. AGP socket for graphic card. Acceleration graphic port, AGP. That's the old school. And you have PCI later on, and then PCI Express and so forth from there. I think that's what they got. They got one of the old PCs from back in the day. I'm being generous. Checking, I think you got one of those Apple PCs that everything's all connected together, like the whole tube and everything. From a big bubble, like a giant jelly bean. Came in those weird colors like green, pink, and red one. I think you got one of those in there. They got one of those in there. onboard video memory and all that stuff with a whopping 256 gigs of RAM. Yeah, 256 gigs of RAM on a giant CRT monitor. But then again, if you have the Apple's own thing on it. You got 8 gigs. 200 gigs. You have gigabytes. It'll be like something like 8 gigabytes on the hard drive. Whopping 8 gigabytes on the hard drive. 8 gigabytes. You know what? I'm not going to bother to give you 256. Let's do 128. 128 of RAM. That should be enough. That's enough. You got 64 for memory and 64 for your video. So that's enough. A whopping 64 for video? That's insane, man. That's insane build. 64 for video alone? That's insane. But if you got the PCI on there, right? The PCI, you can override and just put in a PCI graphic card. And you have your own dedicated memory to it, which means you got 56K maybe to itself. Or 128 or 64, who knows? You have that dedicated to itself right there. And then basically, that means you're on board for just for your PC alone. It's going to be that whopping 128. That's what you want to go with. You want to go, you're building old school. I'm building an old school retro PC. I'm building an old school. I want to build one. I'm not going to find any of these parts. I bet you eBay got all the parts. You don't think I'm building an old system, man. I consider the fact I'm going to use an AT motherboard. That's a big freaking motherboard. My motherboard is so big that it had an entire section that snapped onto it for the PCI Express. Sorry, PCI. I'm used to saying PCI Express now. PCI. Yeah. So we're going to run our fans either from Molex or a 4-pin. Most likely for a 4-pin. Alright. Put the system on it, XP system on it. That's what I'm talking about. Rendering graphics. Can we get an 8-bit graphic card? I need an 8-bit graphic card. Let's see. I want an 8-bit graphic card. 8-bit graphic card. Oh, I remember these things are wide and bulky. It's like the size of a Nintendo cartridge. It's like about the big screen. 8-bit graphic card, man. We're gonna make a PC. VGA computer 8-bit graphic card. I'm going to do, what's the minimum we run on this thing for Windows? I think we're going to be doing 64 for Windows. Let's see. How much RAM is required to run Windows? Get it more specific. How much RAM is required to run Windows XP? Yeah, we can do a minimum of 64. 64. We do 64. That's the minimum. But 128 is recommended. So we keep, I was right. 128 for that. Because basically, if you're breaking that down, you had onboard video, you would use 64 of that for video and 64 of that for your memory. But if you get a dedicated card in there, you have 128. Easy McCheesy. Easy McCheesy. I like to have a conversation with this guy one day who forgot the motherboard. He's probably going to sit up there and basically have somebody talk in his ear so you can understand everything I'm saying to him. Modification 101. Yeah, Mr. I think I like this. I'm going with that. I got to work on that a little bit more, but I'm liking it. I'm feeling it. I'm liking the texture, what we're making here. But I think I need a base here to put the flames on. A base to put the flame. Oh, down there. Oh, shoot. A base to put the flames on. We need a base to put the flames on. The flickering flames to bring it to life. Then put the silicone over and over and over again to add depth to it and detail to it. And then we put on top of it. And then we got the caulking, and then we put the silicone on top of it. But it's a glow process, which means we use heavy concentrated reds and orange and black to blend them all together. It's a paint job, baby. We're gonna make it ourselves. Why buy it when you can make it yourself? And right now I'm going to finish and put my coating on my screen over here so that way I can basically have my peekaboo screen set up so I can look at game off it using the new Flex technology right over there. We got someone at the table ready to go. But you can't watch that because we don't show you that process. Not ever. Not ever. Now I'm going to talk like this all day long now. This is now my new voice for the rest of the video. Because now we're talking about PC put togethers and custom builds and all that good stuff. We're definitely going to do modified power supply. Definitely. We're going to get the boring humdrum power supply and convert it into something crazy. I like this power supply we have over here. See that power supply there? That's my customized paint job for my power supply that actually glows in the dark, which is actually freaking super cool. So I like that right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut half of that out so that fan is actually exposed. And I'm going to make it look like it's damaged at the end of the day. I'm going to bend those parts up nicely and go over it and file it down nicely. We're going to cut our fingers on that thing later on. We got to go back in and do some repairs and work on it at the end of the day. Have some extra wires sticking out from the side over, and they make it look absolutely insane when we get done with that. Yes. And get rid of that, whatever that is in the middle symbol, and put some kind of hazard over there for electrical high voltage. And the power cable, well, we're going to use some special hazard tape that goes in the dark, so that has a little more of a hazard effect to it. Put the hazard strips to it and all that cool stuff. It's going to be pretty cool when we get done with it. And yes, that's going to glow in the dark. So we're going to make two different versions of this glow in the dark paint. We have this right here, and then we're going to use a really, really heavy concentrated powder. Yep. It's going to glow a lot. It's going to glow a lot. All right. I'm happy with this part. We got our ice buildup. We got our fan. The fan grills that go on top of here. The 200 millimeters that stand out a little bit. We're going to put motherboard poster. The motherboard sits right directly on top of the fan grill. We're going to turn the fan grill into a base for the motherboard. And to make sure this thing doesn't yank out, we're going to drop individual screws in here with these pipes that come in there so they slide and lock in place when we glue them in. So that way they don't fall out. We can actually screw it in and screw it out at will. That give me access to clean my fans. So it's going to look pretty sick. The inside of it has to glow. That's why we got the spray bottle. Where's my spray bottle? Let me somewhere. Here it is. The spray bottle. Going to add a little bit of thin poly and some of that heightened glow. And a little bit of white in there, and we're going to spray the inside. And we're going to, basically, when it hits and glows, it's going to go off. Putting a black light in the inside. A black light system set up. Yes, sirree, Chuck. Can you feel the love tonight? This thing's going to be hooked up. What's this kind of piece it's going to be set up for? I'm a retro guy at the end of the day, but I'm going to hook my VR systems up to this at the end of the day. My relaxation piece. So we're going to have fire, ice, and electricity. I'm going to put a cloud system around here with electricity flowing through it. And some of it's going to trickle here and here and here. Yes. It's going to look absolutely sick, people. Absolutely sick. So this is an easy, fast build to put together. So much money on my mind, I can't even see the time. What? That's taco. It's taco, people. That's taco. You don't know? Better ask somebody. Look at this. Pretty soon we have a clear peekaboo screen using all amazing flex technology. We're going to have this outside too. Oh, get in there. There we go. Just like that. Boom! I mean, it came right through my screen. There's no problem. And see those beautiful lights popping up on the other end with the electricity. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. It's going to look insane at the end of the day, man. Insane. This is going to be our new flex screen for gaming. That means I can actually game off my screen, watch on my PC, and look at the visual effects at the same time. Yes, and then when I get done, I can take it off and take it outside and play with it. Because our screens, what do? They go anywhere they want to go. That's right, people. That's right. All right, that's basically about it. I'm done. I'm going to go grab something to eat and get this done, finish this up a little bit, and that's basically about it. So we had some fun. We joked around. We laughed. We talked about. We joked. We cried. Whatever. I don't know. They didn't cry, but they're probably going to cry. Probably about half an hour. Like, oh my goodness, he's in there doing it again. I gotta go on my YouTube channel. I gotta cry. 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 Okay, whatever. Let's move on. I got things to do. Gotta go. The button. Hit the button.